Hi, I'm Rockin' Robin from CookingMexicanRecipes.com. Thanks for joining me today in my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making a dish called Mom's Yam Puff. Now this is something we've been making for our Thanksgiving dinners for a number of years, and I wanted to share it with you. Now, it's a little bit different than your traditional yam dish in that we're going to be whipping our yams, which will make them nice and light, and then I'm going to be infusing them with a little bit of citrus, so a little bit of orange and lemon, which is going to make the flavor nice and bright but not overpowering. And it's really delicious, and it's very simple to make. So let's go over our ingredients. Now first we're going to need about 4 pounds. This is about 4 pounds of yams. Now these are Diane yams. That's what they were called in the store. You can use garnet or any others. And when you pick them out, you just look for some nice tight skin and, you know, not too many blemishes, you don't want any bruises, that kind of thing. So there you go. All right, so now we'll need some brown sugar. We'll need a little bit of salt, a little bit of melted butter, some citrus. This is some fresh orange juice and fresh lemon juice. And then we have the zest from the orange and the lemon. Now, what we want to do, and I wanted to go over this just a little bit about zesting just in case you're not that familiar with it. You're going to need a zester, and the zester has very fine teeth. And so what we want to do is when we're zesting an orange, let's say, we want to get just the very, very thin part of the peel. We want to get, that's where the oil is and the flavor. So if you go below that, then you're going to get into the white stuff and there's no flavor. And especially with a lemon, if you go below the yellow skin where the oils are and get to the white part, it's going to be quite bitter. So what we want to do is we want to just go across the zester with our fruit and then rotate it and then do it again. So it's just one swipe, and that'll keep it nice and shallow. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate for you. So you go across, and you can see there, and then I'm just going to turn it. And you can actually look and see where you've been by the teeth marks. You can see them here and here. So you just go along, one swipe. And you just go along until you get as much zest as your recipe calls for. So the first thing we want to do is boil our potatoes. So I'm going to place them into a big stock pot, and I'm going to fill it with water, and then we're going to cover it. We're going to cover it and cook it on the stove, you know, boiling until for about 20 minutes or until you stick a fork in and they're nice and soft. So the yams have been cooking now for 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and test them. And they're definitely soft enough. They're done, so I'm going to take them out. So what we want to do is just grab yourself a tongue and a spoon, and I've got a dish here that I'm just going to lay them on so that they can cool. And just take them out like that. You can see, probably on this one you can see a little better where they have split open a little bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let these cool for about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes till they're cool enough to touch. We're going to peel them, and then we'll just kind of cut them up into big chunks, and we'll put everything together at that point. Our yams have been cooling now. I let these cool for about 20 minutes, and they're still warm, but they're certainly, I'm able to handle it. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this. This one here is already pretty much peeling itself almost. So I'm just going to peel off the skin. And sometimes we need a knife to help it. So we'll just peel it off like that. If you see any brown spots or anything, you can just take them off. So they peel up really easy. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, because we're going to end up mashing these. So what I'm going to do is just going to cut into just pieces like that. Just, you know, a rough cut. I'm going to place them in a bowl. I have a nice big bowl here, and we'll just keep doing that with all of our yams. You just take your knife, you know, and just skim across the potato, and then I've been pulling out, or cutting out rather, little pieces of brown spots that I don't want in there. It's real easy to do. Okay, so we'll finish with this. Oops. And now I'm going to mash it, give a little mash, and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. So we'll just give this a little mash, get things moving. And now what I'm ready to go ahead and add everything else. So let me put this over here, and we'll start with our brown sugar. Now, by the way, I have all of the ingredients, the amounts of the ingredients down below in the description, so just check there for those amounts. So I'm going to put in the brown sugar first. I'm going to start blending that. I'm going to add the lemon juice and the orange juice, the salt, sprinkle that in. And we want to combine this really well, and I'll sprinkle in, this is the lemon zest and the orange zest. Okay, and we have the butter. Just pour that in. So now it's just a matter of mashing all this together, and then once I get it pretty well combined, then I'm going to use the mixer with it to make it, whip it up. And then from there it just goes in the oven. All right, so I'm mixing everything up with my masher here, and now what I'm going to do is take the hand mixer and I'm going to whip it up, get it nice and light and fluffy. Then I'm going to pour it into this dish here. This is my 9 by 13, and it should fit in there pretty nicely. Plenty of room. And then we're going to bake it in the oven. So let's go ahead and whip this up. All right, so you want to mix this up for just, a minute or two, just to get it nice and fluffy. So now I'm just going to pour it into our dish here. I've got my oven set. I'm preheating it to 350 degrees. So you can see how nice and light and fluffy this is, just like mashed potatoes. And that's what we want. Press it into your dish so that it's covering, spreading it out and filling up the dish nice and even. Now, what you can do with this is if you want to make this like the day before Thanksgiving because you got a million things to do, now would be, this would be a good thing to do. Make it a day ahead, and at this point, where I have the dish right now, I would just cover it and then put it in the refrigerator, cover it nice and tight with some saran wrap, and then the next day when you're ready to serve it, just pull it out, let it sit for about 10 minutes at room temperature, and then throw it back in the oven. And you would heat that for probably 40 minutes if you were doing it that way. Today, since I'm throwing it right into the oven, I'm going to just cook it for about 25 minutes. And that's it. We're not going to cover it when we put it in the oven. We're going to just put it straight in just like this. In the oven we go. Okay, so I just took the yams out of the oven. They were in there for about 25 minutes and without a cover on them. And they do tend to get a little bit browned on top, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and serve some up. They're nice and fluffy and hot. And you know what's nice is to maybe take just a little bit of butter and let that melt on top. So I'm going to put a little bit of butter on there. And I've got a little parsley, so we can stick a little parsley in there. And I'm going to give a little taste, because I really enjoy this recipe. It's so good. You get just a hint of the citrus, which is really, really nice. It's light. It's just a different way of making yams, and I really hope you guys will give this a try. It's really delicious. So thanks for stopping by. Be sure and subscribe to my channel right up there so you don't miss any videos coming out. And leave me a comment below. Let me know, tell me what you guys do with your yams for Thanksgiving. How do you prepare yours? So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.